What's up guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to sit down and talk about the real pros and cons to Shopify dropshipping. Now, you hear me talk about it every single day on Instagram. You know that it's very much a big part of my life, my business and my income. So I thought I'm just going to sit down, talk about a few of the pros, a few of the cons, be honest and be open as to the best things and the worst things about the business model, and yeah, just break down some information for you guys and have a little sit down. So you know the missus has kicked me out of my office, which means my desk and my chair is in the garage, so I thought take that to my advantage, have a little sit down, talk about the business, break it down a little bit, and yeah, just generally some pros, some cons, hopefully provide some guidance along the way, and just a bit of clarity for everyone that's on the fence or currently trying to build a brand and they want to know the real pros and the real cons of the business. Right, there we go. Let's get you nice and straight. The dogs are out here with me, so it might become quite erratic. However, here we are. I'm going to sit down, like I said, talk about some pros, talk about some cons, but quickly something to bear in mind. A lot of YouTube is full of tips and tricks on business, Shopify dropshipping especially, and you'll see that a lot of the time it's people sat at their desks. And the reason for that is because a lot of people don't have fuck all apart from the bedroom at the mum and dad's house. Bear in mind, the people that you're listening to aren't half as successful as you assume that they are. A lot of the time, it's people that's made a few quid and now they're sat in their mum and dad's house in their bedroom and that's all they've got to show. So that's why they're sat in one room for every single video, on a desk. They've got fuck all else. Whereas I'm sat outside at my desk because the missus has, yes, kicked me out. However, I'm sat in front of my McLaren and I'm sat outside in my own house. Not my mum and dad's, none of that bullshit. So just something to bear in mind when you are listening to other people talk about business online. Max? Is that a lot of the time it's bullshit, and unfortunately that's the reality. It always will be, it always has been. So you just need to learn how to filter out the crap to understand where the true value is. So yes, some pros and cons about Shopify dropshipping. Basically, I'm going to start with some cons just to get it out of the way, and then we'll look at some of the positives. And the main thing to understand is really there's pros and cons to every single business. There are always negative things about the business model, so that's fine, and it's something you have to bear in mind as you grow the business, but it's also something you can try and improve on as you scale the business too. There's always things that you can do to implement changes to reduce that negativity around the brand. So if we start with some negatives, like I said, some cons. So when we're looking at Shopify dropshipping, the number one thing people think about is shipping speed. Now yes, shipping can take a little bit longer than a next day prime service off Amazon, but then like I said, there's ways of flipping that around. So really the focus here is building a brand, because what we then do is we get people that are trying to buy into the brand, that they're not worried about waiting a week or so for a product because they bought into the brand, they want to be part of that brand and community. And if you can flip it quick enough, and if you can build the brand in a certain way and leverage certain strategy, we can really get people wanting to be part of that brand. So the shipping speed that is a con is always going to be an issue, isn't as big of an issue as people make it out to be. Also, as you scale the brand, there's ways of really getting around that, such as buying stock in to my 3PL in the Cotswolds, where I can help you store and distribute that at the best price possible. It also means that you can scale the brand upwards with lower stock costs because you're buying it in bulk. And again, there's ways around that negative con. However, the best way to start is with dropshipping, get validation, get proof of concept, and then scale white label if you wish to. However, that's one of the biggest cons with the business model, is the shipping speed. I've got customer service strategy to get around it that I've implemented over the last 10 years. And like I said, the supplies don't actually take too long to ship. They have a lot of seller guarantees that they have to put in place, so they always scare people off with estimated delivery times. However, it's not actually as bad as you think it is. And even if it is, we can work around that with buying stock in when you go white label after you've got validation and proof of concept with your brand. So another con that a lot of people talk about is the product quality. They always say, oh, it's from China, it's going to be crap. When they're sending me that message, they're sending off a Chinese phone that's been branded up so that people think it's a lot higher quality than it is. You need to understand that everything comes from China. The fact that it's from China has nothing to do with the quality, because in fact, China makes some of the best stuff there is in terms of the kit that they have, the technology that they have. They make really, really good stuff. So we don't need to be too worried about quality. It's very much dependent on niche. We can look at supply rating, we can look at reviews, we can look at how many units that supplier has actually sold, and we can do all of these things to determine whether it's going to be a high quality product or not. Now listen, it's not going to be some really handmade, intricate piece of work that you might get from factories in Portugal, for example, if you were selling clothing. However, you'd be surprised at how many big manufacturers use China. You don't need to be too worried about quality of the product. That's all around finding the best suppliers, which I can help you do in terms of supply rating, orders, and validation in terms of the reviews that product and supplier has received. There's ways around the quality. The quality isn't a big issue. So listen, when we're talking about cons, they're probably the two main things. People are worried it's going to take too long to get there, and people are worried when it gets there it's going to be crap. And both of those things aren't as serious as you think they are. Listen, it's going to take a little while for the product to get there. If you build a cool enough brand and community, that's not an issue. I also teach you how to provide the customer service and the strategy around that to really keep people happy. Within my academy, I essentially teach the surrounding reason as to why their product takes a little bit longer to get there, and with displaying that and explaining that to the customer, it doesn't make the shipping too much of an issue, but I try and hold that back for the people with my team. So I'm trying not to give you too much, but you just don't need to worry, essentially. It's not a big of a deal as you think it is. And then the quality of the product, again, not a huge issue. As long as you really do your supplier research, you look at their ratings, their reviews, how many orders they processed, and generally how well that supplier operates on AliExpress, we can really reduce that being an issue. It's niche dependent as well, so make sure that you're in a niche that can't be hugely faulty, for example. However, I think that's less of an issue than you may believe it to be. So let's look at some pros to the business model. So we're going to start off with profitability. Listen, you're running at probably one of the highest profit margins possible for a self-build, new starting website and business for yourself. There's not many businesses you can go into and garner such profits out of it. If you can go organic in terms of strategy, you're really going to be running at a super high profit margin, and therefore it creates a super hyper profitable business for yourself, which I think is one of the biggest pros of the business. One of the other things is that time and location freedom. So listen, if you're sat at a 9 to 5 all day, or you're busy jet setting around the world for whatever work you've got, let's say you're an air hostess, you don't need to be in one place to make the business work. All you need is signal or Wi-Fi. If you've got that, you can process the orders, you can market the brand, and you can build something profitable. It doesn't matter where you are. All you need is Wi-Fi or signal. And that's obviously a huge pro to the business. This isn't a business that's going to require you to be in one place for one set amount of time each day. It's something that you can build on the side of your lifestyle, allowing you to kind of live the life that you really want to live. You can build a lifestyle around the business and therefore live a life of pretty much freedom when it comes to building a business. Another big pro, I would say, is the skills. You're learning so many skills and they're all transferable. So every skill that you learn when you're building a brand, from content to social media to strategy to admin, everything in between, everything is transferable to other businesses that you work into in the future. So with businesses that I run that aren't dropship based, there's stuff that I do within each of those businesses that I've learnt the skills from dropship brands. It's not just one set skill set for that business model. It's skill that you can implement across every other business you run in the future. So obviously the pros are pretty endless. I could sit here all day, but I think I'm going to finish on the one simple pro to the business model, and that's the fact you don't touch a fucking thing. You don't touch any product, you don't store any product, you don't buy any product, you don't deal with handling or fulfillment of any products. You simply list a product on your website for free, no risk to it at all. As soon as you sell that product for the inflated price, you pay the supplier the small price, you keep the profit in between, and the customer pays you. So you only buy stock and you buy product when the customer pays you in the first place, meaning you don't risk having any stock left over. You're not paying to store stock anywhere, you're not paying to fulfill any stock, and then no labour on that side of it at all for you either. Labour-wise, you don't have to do anything in terms of fulfilling the order. You literally just make the sale, watch the money come in, and then go again. So that's an obviously huge pro to it, which I think is obviously probably one of the biggest. The fact that you don't have to do a thing. It's all done for you. And the costs associated with them doing it for you are so minor, you wouldn't believe it. Now, like I said, I could literally go on all day about different pros around the business, because I think there are a lot of them. You can build a dropship brand with zero risk for yourself without buying any stock. You can get proof of concept and validation that your strategies are working, your niche is a good one. You can then buy stock in, store it in a warehouse in the Cotswolds that I help run, and then you can push it out for next day delivery in the UK. If you're super worried about your shipping speed and your customer satisfaction side of it, you can go down that route. But before doing so, I would always recommend dropshipping first. You can get proof that that niche is going to work, you can see how well your strategy works, and then you can buy the stock in, and I can handle that side for you. However, I think dropshipping is one of the most risk-free and no-brainer business models to start, and I hope that this little pro versus con breakdown has really helped you understand the different intricacies around the business model. And like I said, guys, don't believe everything you see online. You need to get really good at differentiating the bullshit from the value. There's so much out there, and me still, when I'm trying to learn new subjects every single day, I'm researching, I'm watching YouTube videos, and the amount of bullshit that I have to kind of sift through to really learn what I'm trying to learn is crazy. So you're not alone in terms of trying to decipher all of that. I'm in the same boat because I'm always trying to learn new strategy and new skills every day. I'm having to decipher who's legit and who's bullshit. And I think after enough research, you can kind of tell. If the same person's got nothing to show for themselves apart from a desk in an office in their mum and dad's house, that would usually be enough for me to tell that they haven't actually built enough for themselves. So yeah, I'm gonna head inside. I've got some work to do this afternoon, and then I'll edit this video, get it up and all that good stuff. I'm giving away 3 grand in the next couple of days on my Instagram, so head over to my pinned reels. I've pinned it on my reels. £300 to 10 different people to help with Christmas shopping this year, as a little give back. And yeah, please make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for the views and the support and the comments on these last few videos I've been putting out. I'm trying to keep consistent with it and keep putting out as much value as I can. I just wanted to chat today and really break down those pros and cons. I get so many questions every day, people asking similar things about the shipping, about the quality, the pros versus the cons. So I thought I'll chuck it all in a video for you guys, and hopefully that clears it up. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Leave a like, make sure you subscribe, and drop any comments you got below. And I'll catch you on the next video.